before I start, I'm just going to lighten my load physically. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day and an even better week. Today happens to be a Wednesday. Wednesdays are my favorite days for a couple of reasons. One, for the obvious, that it's Toastmasters Day. And second, because it's the hump of the week. So in the Western world, it's called Hump Day because it's all downhill. It's the peak of the week, right? Speaking of peaks, we'll be touching upon that in my speech as well. But before we start with the speech, so the purpose of today's speech, apart from delivering a profoundly impactful message, is to address some of the feedback that I received the last time I delivered the speech. Now the feedback pertained to two areas, mainly. The first was eye contact. So perhaps I was told that perhaps I was biased towards one part of the room over the other, or that I may not have paid attention to those sitting at the back, even though it's hard maintaining eye contact with each one of you, but I will try my level best to do so, to sort of create that bond. The second was in terms of the tonality of my voice, or prosody as it's called. Now, I used to think that my voice is music to my ears, but it turns out that if you're not careful and if you don't practice enough, you may come across as being monotonous, or worse, boring. So if I bore you at any point in this speech, please just give me a sign or a signal. Alright. Now, moving on to the speech itself. So I'm going to start off with a question. It's always a great way to start a speech with a question. So you sort of put the onus of thinking to the audience instead. So the question is, have you ever stood precariously at the edge of a high cliff or peak? Could be any, a high vantage point, a rooftop, a tower. How many people? It's an interesting place to be, no? No? I'm not reckless, if you're wondering, though my late mother may tend to disagree, and now my wife. But I do believe I'm a little reflective at times, or at least I would like to believe. See, when you're standing at that perch, like many situations in life, you'll be faced with different perspectives. There's above eye level, and then there's below eye level. So when you look down below eye level, you'll have many thoughts running through your mind. Some a bit basic, like, whoa, that's a long fall. I'll probably break a few bones, maybe even die. If you're feeling particularly garish and you continue to peer down, you'll have a deeper dialogue with your fears. The fear of heights, the fear of falling, the fear of pain, and the fear of death. And for some reason, if you continue to look down and stare at the edge of the cliff, you start putting things into perspective, questioning a few things. Questioning one, the insignificance of your being in the grander scheme of things. Questioning the fragility of your existence and the frailness of your being, which is muscle, tissue, and bone. One wrong step, and it's over. But on the flip side, if you choose to instead look above eye level, you'll have a few thoughts also running through your mind. Some thoughts, some of which will also make you feel slightly insignificant and bring you closer. No? False alarm? False alarm. False alarm. Yeah, so rewind a little bit. So above eye level, if you peer down, you may experience a similar sense of insignificance and oneness with your creator. But this is slightly more empowering, categorized by endless possibility. The open sky is home to the human spirit. It's infinite and it's limitless. So one more thing that I wanted to work on during my speech is the use of pauses. was told that I speak very fast sometimes, so I'm going to pause. And I'm a musician also a little bit, so we learned that it's the silence between the notes that makes the music. So I think this will also apply while we speak. So yeah, when you look, now, analogous to many situations, now, this used to scare me too, right? So when I look up, there's endless possibilities, but this used to scare me too. Because beyond the fear of falling, the winds of an untamed, an uncertain sky are petrifying. Right? What if you get blown away? Right? It's a scary thought. But then I realized, like analogous to many situations in life, you may find yourself on perhaps not a literal cliff, but a proverbial one. Right? And the onus lies on us to focus on what lies above our level as we take that leap of faith. We may find ourselves in a free fall of fear, or in the process, we may end up learning how to fly. In the words of Sadiq Shah, not Allama Iqbal, "Tundiye baade mukhalif se na ghabra, e uqab, ye to chalti hai tumhe uncha udane ke liye." Do not fear these fairy winds, O eagle. These blow only to take you higher. Over to you.